Hello and welcome along to the Bunch of Punts Betting Podcast, your specialist show for football long shot bets. This is a betting show, so it's 18 plus. Please remember to gamble responsibly. And if you're not, could you please subscribe or follow us on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast from? It makes a huge difference. Joining me as ever, Matthew O'Regan. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm flagging a bit. I'm knackered, but I'm happy to be here again.
Why are you flagging?
I was up at 2 a.m., sat for all 7 hours this morning, and I'm feeling the effects. I'm off straight to bed after this.
Literally the only person I know who got up at 2 a.m. to watch it all.
I'm a sad bastard. I've got nothing going on in my life, so I thought, why not?
You've got something major going on in your life now because we are going to try and build an ACCA in the first bit of the show, and then second half, we've got lots of singles worth flagging. Full disclosure, you didn't actually want to build an ACCA this week. Why? I'm dying to know.
Well, firstly, I'm too knackered. I was like, I can't be arsed. But secondly, there's not many that stand out really. Like I've got one or two EFL picks in my odds tracker, but not strong enough for the ACCA because I'm sure you've got bigger ones. I've only got one that I'm really strong about, and the rest are like, meh.
I like it because I've got loads, so it'll change the dynamic. I'll just pitch him. You just say yes or no. For clarity, we're building our 8th ACCA since we started doing it. We've had 0 winners, couple of closest calls, but it's been brutal this season. So first up, Premier League. There's a host of 3 o'clock kickoffs. But I've only got interest in the early kickoff on Saturday and potentially the North London derby. So not the picks, but are you willing to have a 12:30 kickoff in the ACCA? First question. Second question is, do you want a game on Sunday 4:30 as well?
Depends what the picks are.
Right, first one then. Burnley v Chelsea. Chelsea to win under 5 goals. 7-10.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think Chelsea win 2-0. I've got them in my prediction, so.
No way. I think Chelsea win 2-0. The only nagging doubt is
the travel.
Yeah, early kickoff after the international break. But Chelsea have got a terrific record in 12:30 kickoffs, if you're interested. I think they've won 8 of the last 9 in this time slot. And Burnley, they might make a fist of this game, but, realistically, if I was making a last man pick, Chelsea would probably be it. So they're about a little bit less than 1-2 to win. But if you're just whacking under 5 goals, so that covers you 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 2-1, 3-1. I can't see Chelsea battering them 6-7-0 because Burnley are quite competitive. I thought that'd be a much harder sell. Right, first pick then, straight in. The other one, Arsenal v Tottenham. Now, Arsenal absolutely dominated North London derbies. They're really, really short. In fact, Tottenham are the biggest price they've been in a good number of seasons. But Gabriel limped off. That's the Arsenal Brazilian centre-back during a friendly against Senegal during the international break. He's out until Christmas, best case scenario. And without him in the side, last 2 seasons, without him in the side, Arsenal dropped points in 7 of 14, won by 1 in the other 5 of those. The wins where they've come by a clear 2 or 3 goal margin. Forest under Ange Postecoglou, Sheffield United during their absolutely shite season in the Prem, and then there was a 5-2 win against West Ham. The other ones, Arsenal have been going off. One that stands out is Arsenal was 1.19 they went off against Forest without Gabriel when Nuno was in charge. They only won that by a 1-goal margin. Without that Gabriel-Saliba partnership, it just makes Arsenal a shitter team defensively. And the biggest threat is set pieces, and he's a major part of that. So I think 22% of the goals last 2 seasons have come from set pieces. This season, 10 of 20. So I just think Arsenal are going to be much worse off without Gabriel. This season, he's been ever-present. Saliba's not started 2 games. One of those was, as I said, the Forest 3-0 win when Ange was the gaffer. The other one, he missed the first half at Newcastle. Newcastle 1-0 up when he came on at half-time. They went on to win the game, but without Gabriel Saliba at the back, I worry. And, Matthew, Tottenham, away from home, unbeaten, 4 wins, 1 draw, and that includes a 2-0 win at the Etihad. So it's sort of a few angles to this pick. So first off, Gabriel's missing, big blow. Second is Tottenham have been crap at home, but when the onus is on the other team, like for example when they're playing away from home, Thomas Frank just loves it. He likes setting his team up to like react to the other team's tactics. So that's what I was thinking here. Are you the bet? For some reason, Asian lines, it's moved to the right-hand tab of Bet365.
I
So
hate it. Keep them to scroll.
I keep missing it. Yeah, a goal and a quarter head start, 1.9.
I don't like it.
Right, sweet. And I do really dislike of the thought of an ACCA starting at 12:30 on Saturday, ending at like near enough
Just a weekend of
6 o'clock.
sweats, isn't it?
Yep, it's a sweaty weekend. Championship, big prize for you. Stoke 14 to 5.
Got them in my odds checker article, double chance. So
Shall we get them in double chance then?
4 to 5, I think they are double chance.
Yep, I'll put them in on the Asian. That's relatively straightforward. For the listener, Leicester have been crap for a long while, like underperforming underlying data, but because they've got such a good squad, you just think they're going to come good eventually, but that's just not proven to be the case. I think they've won 2 games since the end of August. Swansea and Norwich, both of those teams have sacked their managers, so it looks like a case of playing bad teams when they're in a bad moment, and the fact that both those clubs that they beat since August have sacked their managers just underpins that. And Stoke have been really, really good. The games that stand out to me was the 1-0 loss against Coventry, who are trending to be a better side than Leeds were in their 100-point season last season. They only lost to them 1-0 by a very, very late goal. And yeah, I think they've won 4 of the last 6. They've been going really well away from home. And the 2 defeats, I think one of them were Millwall. I can't remember the other one, but they were both by a 1-goal margin. So yeah, Stoke double chance. At the minute with those 2 picks, we're at 2.1. Where is your pick? What league is it, by the way?
The National South.
Right, perfect. I'll keep going. Into League One, Barnsley,
Well,
Luton.
I didn't mind Derby, draw no bet, or both in score QPR whole, but.
What were you thinking with the Derby one? Because I had some notes on this originally, like because Watford is so bad away from home, aren't
Watford
they?
haven't won away. It's Derby is sort of a low margin team, so it wouldn't surprise me if it ends in a draw. But to have the draw on side at 4 to 5 is nice. Like very low margin side, Derby. Watford results have picked up a bit under Gracia, but still poor away. Haven't won away. Derby won 5 on a bounce.
Yeah.
I don't think the odds should be that close as they are. So yeah, that and both teams scoring QPR, because QPR have scored in all but one home game. Hull have scored in all but one away game. Second and third for both teams scoring the league. Yeah, but EFL betting recently has been so tricky, so I just was like, not confident enough to put anything forward. But they would be my other championship picks.
I literally thought the same about Derby, but the only thing that got me, like 1 win in the first 10, now they've won 5 on the spin. They've not conceded more than 2 since August, but they very rarely score more than 1. Watford new manager, they've got one of the best players in the league in Loser. I know their away form's bad, but I just thought this game's going to be so fine margin. I wouldn't have this as a single. But the goals in QPR Hull, I'm going to put that in for the time being. Both teams to score looks nice. Like Hull are just batshit crazy at both ends, aren't they? So with those, it's Chelsea and under 5 in the Prem. Stoke double chance. Both teams to score. QPR Hull.
I know what your League 1 and League 2 picks are going to be, because I've already looked at 2 of these as well.
Do you?
I've got 2 of the picks in doubles that I know you're going to put forward.
Barnsley Luton game, yeah?
Yeah, and Swindon Grimsby.
Goals.
Over 2.5 in both of them.
Yep. Are you in agreement?
Yeah, and then we can add my final one, and then ACCAS are good enough, I think.
This is rapid, but it's worth flagging. I'm sure we talked about Barnsley and Conor Hourihan's. Like, form is fleeting, but goals are being consistent. So he's now done 30 games in the Oakwell dugout, temporary and permanent. Only kept 1 clean sheet. I think it's gone overs in 20 or maybe 23. I can't remember 20. Off the top of my head. Is it 20?
Yeah, I've wrote that in my odds checker articles. I hope it's right.
Do not copy my research, because it is constantly wrong. And Swindon Grimsby, like, battle between 2 of the top goal scorers in the division. They both conceded 21 goals.
On the way, we want to batter Grimsby as well, won't he?
Yeah. Shit, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Grimsby hate him.
If it was Swindon away at Grimsby, I think Holloway would play for the point, but I think Holloway was going to want to put 2 or 3 past Grimsby.
Yeah,
and they
and
had to sign an emergency goalie,
yep,
Grimsby.
their goalkeeper suspended in after that red
Shit,
card at
him,
Chesterfield.
but yeah, he's shit, Christy Pym. But Richard O'Donnell's not much better. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no,
goals both is a given. Especially like we're under Wilshire, they've scored. They scored 4 against Forest Green, 3
yep,
against our 21s, beat Stockport 3-0. Took a
yep.
while to get clicking, but yeah, they're proper soaring now.
Yeah, and you might be looking at Luton's form thinking, well, they drew 0-0 at Rotherham, but against Rotherham, sorry, it was at home. But Rotherham, Sam Nombe was a last minute like injury. He's had to go for a scan. He's going to be out for a bit. And then Hugel and the other fella who played up front for Rotherham were brought off at half time. So I don't think either of them two were fit. Rotherham ultra defensive, play for the point. Don't read too much into that because Barnsley are going to play into Luton's hands. And the only other thing worth saying about Swindon Grimsby, we hate head-to-head records on this show, but it was the same two managers last season. 4 goals, 4 goals, so 8 goals in
What
total.
was the score when Swindon played at home?
Was it 4-0?
Let me check.
4-1?
I hate head to head as well, but
No, it
it's
would have
what
been 3-1, sorry.
I hate head to head as well. But like I said, Holloway's going to want a 3-1. They
What
scored
about,
early doors and they were 3-0 up after an hour. So and they accumulated 3.91 XG. So Holloway's going to tell them just don't, because a lot of managers sit on a 1-0. Holloway won't.
yeah, go for the jugular, boys. It's such a good point. I completely forgot that Grimsby fans hate him. So, before we dip into the south, we've got Burnley and Burnley. We're not backing Burnley. I don't know why I keep trying to back Burnley. So it's Chelsea to beat Burnley under 5 goals in the Prem. Stoke, I've done it 0.5 head start in the Asian handicap, but it's double chance. Both teams to score. QPR Hull over 2.5 goals. Barnsley, Luton, and Swindon Grimsby. 16.6 to 1. So what's your pick in the south?
It's Worthing to win and over 1 goal. Worthing started the season shit, but I'm happy I can finally start backing them. So Hinchelwood came in, lost the first game 4-1. Forest Green were the better team, but I think 4-1 doesn't sort of flatters them a bit. And you could tell the quality difference there, but there weren't too much in it. And then since then, they've gone and beat Chelmsford away 2-1, who are a very good team at home and are doing well recently. Beat Chesham away 2-1. Then had 4 home games on the bounce, won 3-1 against Dover, 3-0 against Hampton, 4-0 against Hemel, who are very good, and 4-0 against Totton.
Yeah.
And then they went and beat Tonbridge 4-0 away. So they've now won 7 on the bounce in all comps, scoring 2+ in all 7. Under Hinchelwood, they're flying. They got Brad Dollahan, best goal scorer in the league. Hinchelwood just found the right thing, and I don't think anyone's going to touch Worthing. I think Worthing only 8 points off the top now, so I think they win the league. They play a Slough side, so last year obviousd head to head means nothing, but it scarred me. I was at Slough away last year with Worthing and lost 4-0 in the Battle of the Rebels. Slough won in midweek at home, so that's another factor. Slough played midweek. Worthing did, but like in the Sussex Senior Cup. So Slough, that moves Slough up to 21st because Chippenham are sort of drifting away. Put Slough 21st, but before that they'd lost on penalties to Gloucester in the division below at home. Lost 1-0 at Horsham, but before that, their results in the league: 3-2 against Bath, they lost, 4-1 at home to Maidstone, 5-1 away at Weston-super-Mare, 2-1 away at Salisbury. They beat Hampton 3-2, lost 5-2 at home to Hornchurch, 4-2 against Torquay, they scraped past Chippenham 3-2, lost 2-0 at Dorking. So when they lose heavy, and they lose quite a lot. They've got the worst defensive record in the league. Worthing have got the best attacking record in the league. One team bang out of form, one in form. I know it's away, but you can get just about even, just shy of even to a Worthing win and 1, which has landed in their last 7 under Hinchelwood. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yep, we'll get it in. So just to clarify, it's Worthing to win and over 1 match goal.
Well, it doesn't make a difference, but like sometimes it's slightly better odds if you do it team goal, but it's the same thing in it.
No.
Yes, it is. If Worthing score over 1 goal, that's over 1 match goal as well, isn't it?
Shit. 5 head start in the Asian handicap. Both teams to score. QPR Hull over 2.5 goals in Barnsley v Luton and Swindon v Grimsby, and that pays out at exactly 33.3421.
Well, once we escape the Chelsea one, like with a nice 2-0 win, then it's a really nice ACCA to track because it's just goals. Like,
Yep.
other than the Worthing one, I suppose you've got the Stoke double chance, but a lot of them are goal related, so it's quite a nice ACCA to follow, I think.
Right. I know this is a bit silly because it's that just because it's a 12:30. But if you did take Chelsea out, it's 19.2. Do you think we keep them in or?
I think take him out.
Me too. That's what I was thinking. Like, I would have the single and I'd tip the single, but just, part of me wanted to put no first goal scorer in my column just because it's like 14s and it's classic after international break. Such an important one as well. Like a sluggish return to domestic football. And the
Just think of
12:30
like
is
a
just making me
Burnley
uneasy.
low block and then a scrappy goal to win 1-0 Chelsea.
Right, take it out, 19.2. As just said, minus the Chelsea bet. If you want to do the Chelsea bet, it's a bit bigger. Imagine if Chelsea fuck up and they lose and this bet goes on to win. How
Yeah,
good are we going to feel?
yeah, exactly.
Right, that's the ACCA. Now time for some singles. You've got lots of ones I fucking love, but I want you to tell everyone about the outright pick. The first of the season. We're into November, nearly December, and it's time to revisit the outright market. It was funny that you tipped this because just yesterday in the office, we were having a look down the top goal scorer markets in the league because it's almost the time of the season. What was I going to say? In-season outrights are so much easier than anti-post, and there's
Like
so much more
Scott does them
scope,
really.
isn't it? Sorry?
Scott Redfern is the master of these ones, and I spoke with him about this bet as well.
He's the GOAT for it. But we're flagging listeners, if there's anything you've got a hunch on, have a look at the price in season because it's so much easier than pre-season. Anyway, what's the pick? It's an outright in League One.
Yeah, so I messaged you about it and Scott after they beat Wimbledon 5-0. I can't think when that would have been. A couple of weeks ago, like Williams' first game. I'd obviously had a couple of beers and I was like, oh, Posh are getting promoted. Then I didn't do anything about it. Then I think they won another league game,
They won
won in the
in,
cup,
yeah,
and then they went last night, went and beat Stockport 3-0 at home, and they were very good value for their win.
battered
The
him.
football they played were brilliant. They looked solid defensively and looked a threat every time they went forward. When I flagged it, I think they were slightly bigger for top six. I think could have got about 35, 40 to 1. Now, but it's one of them you don't want to jump straight in because you don't know. It could just be a new manager bounce. Wimbledon aren't the best. I know they're doing well, but their team not be down there. But I watched them yesterday on TV. I think there's no reason they can't. I think I quite like their team at the moment. They've got a nice young blend. Williams can get the best out of any attack. They're scoring goals. And most importantly, if you look at League One, Bolton and Stockport, I think, will be the top two that sort of pull away. But Stockport, you get Bolton and Stockport. The rest of the league, you've got Stevenage up there, who I'm not convinced by. Bradford, speak to a lot of Bradford fans, they're not convinced. I can't even think who's up there. Lincoln aren't. I don't think Lincoln fans are that convinced. They're sort of
Lincoln,
just
top of the league, yeah.
Oh, Stockport moved down because of goal difference, yeah. Bolton will be top of the league and stay there, I think, because they've got best player in the league. But then, but I can't even think who's in the top six. I don't have my notes.
Right. I'll read it you out. So it's Lincoln top of the shop, level on points ahead on goal difference to Stockport, 28 points each. Then it's Bradford, 27, Bolton, 26, Cardiff below them, same points, worst goal scored. Stevenage, same points, worth goal difference. Wimbledon, 25 in 7, that's 25 points. And then it's Luton, Mansfield, Huddersfield.
Really,
Yeah. So.
realistically, I think you've got Stockport, Bolton, Cardiff. And who else is mentioned up there?
Luton, maybe?
Luton and Huddersfield, I think, could make up the rest. But then you got all them teams there that aren't really. I can't think Sir Stephen is sustaining it. Bradford, Peterborough are only like 10 points off. I know that sounds a lot, but
It's not.
like it's not. It's so. We're only a few games into the season. We've got over half the season to go. The way Peterborough play, they could beat most teams, and the league is so dross and so tight. All these other teams will pick each other off. Like Wimbledon can beat Doncaster, Stevenage can beat this. Peterborough keep winning; they'll go under the radar. So, yeah, there's a lot to like about them. They've got goals, good defence, and yeah, you can still get 25 to 1 for them to finish in the top six. So you're not sweating the playoffs if they get there. So I think 25 to 1 is big enough to take after the other. It's not just a new manager bounce. After everything we've seen, they've beaten. I don't know how serious Cardiff took the cup, but they beat a team that's up there in the cup. They already beaten the table toppers at home 3-0. So yeah, there's a lot to like about Peterborough. So I've had worse punts and 25 to 1-6.
This is why it's a brilliant bet, right? Because Stevenage, for example, they made a wonderful start of the season. They're currently in 6th. They've got games in hand on all the teams around them. Underlying metrics has them in 20th. So that's massive overperformance. And you look at the likes of Burton and Rotherham, two teams in the top half. You go back to, what would you say, like mid-September, end of August, they were both in the relegation zone. Took like an unbeaten run or like one or two losses, just a good bit of form, and they've motored into the top half. As you say, 15 points between the top and tail of the division. You've really got to look at this division as like rife for opportunity. If you can get the right side of an uptick or downtick in form, I think you're gonna make money. I love that pick so much.
And then because I need to look at Peterborough's fixtures. Wait, so Peterborough still 21st. They're only 10 points off playoffs, yeah. And then scoring goals never an issue for Peterborough. They were a bit defensive this year. They solidified. Coming up,
Yeah,
they've got Stevenage at home next, Donny away, Reading away,
cup.
Northampton at home, Port Vale away, Orient at home, Reading at home, Rotherham. Until they play Lincoln in like mid-January, they've got quite a nice run. That will build momentum. And in January, it wouldn't surprise me if they get a bit of money for Con Clark. They might sell a player. They not Peterborough aren't afraid to do business in January. I think they're nicely poised, 3 or so points off. Chairman will throw some cash at it, and I think that they could sneak in. But all
Yeah,
it is them to beat Stevenage on next. When is it?
Tuesday, I think.
25th. Yeah. All it takes them to. I've seen Donny. They'll beat Donny, I think, easily. It's back-to-back wins, and then they're flying. If they beat Stevenage, they're only 7 points off them.
Yeah, I genuinely like what we've seen of them against at Wimbledon and last night against Stockport. I'd be shocked if they don't head into Christmas at least in the top half. I think that's a cracking bet and a cracking price. So back to the North London derby for me. Like I've already spoke about why I want to oppose Arsenal and why I want to get Spurs on side. First and foremost, the price is massive. The biggest I've seen it in recent years. So I'm just going to take Tottenham to win. You can get them loads of liquidity on the exchange, 8-1, half a point on that. I'm also having half a point on them to win 2-0. They kept clean sheets in 4 of 8 in all competitions on the road. That's at 14-1 with Bet Victor, half a point as well. Having said that, like the one fluky result that springs to mind is that Monaco in the Champions League. No way should they have kept a clean sheet. Nonetheless, I just think it's worth piling in to Spurs at the prices and giving the Gabriel Tinhas. The other two, I'd just kick myself if I didn't do these, but I'm not doing them for the sake of it. I genuinely think Spurs have got a chance of going to the Emirates and getting a result, and at the prices available, I'd just be stupid not to tip the following. It's Spurs double chance. Spurs win alongside Vicario. Card 12-1. William Hill double chance. Point on that win is 33-1. Same firm. William Hill. I've had a half a point on that. Vicario's got a good track record for picking up cards. It's Mickey Oliver, and he has a good track record at booking keepers across his career in the Premier League. So yeah, I've gone for them. The only thing worth pointing out is Bet365 have gone painfully short, 9-4 Vicario to be carded. And I know us both sort of consider Bet365 the gold standard, the yardstick when it comes to pricing anything. They're the best firm. Well, there was. There's gone a bit soft recently, but they've always been sort of the best firm when it comes to prices and getting them spot on. But they've gone painfully short, so gives you a bit of wiggle room in these markets. But yeah, I just think everything adds up to make all 4 of them bets make sense. So I'm looking forward to watching Arsenal win 2 or 3-0. Where we're going next?
Yeah, I got 2 championship goal scorers, which I'll rattle off together. First one won't come as a surprise. It's Isaac Price again. 6s, a Bet365, so I'm having a point on that. I've just got a weird affinity with Isaac Price. I'm not a West Brom fan. I'm not from Northern Ireland. I just love Isaac Price. He scored 5 goals in 15 starts for the Baggies, which is 0.36 per 90. A volume shooter, which I like about strikers, so that they're not afraid to shoot. 2.71 shots and 1.21 shots on target per 90. Obviously, Coventry have had a really strong start to the season, hence the big prize of this. But Watford showed it at Coventry, where even though Watford went down to the men, they gave it a right go and had some good chances. Can't think who else it was. Blackburn had a good attempt at Cov. Yeah, I just think West Brom will be chasing the game. Isaac Price at 6 is a big price. So I have a point on that, bet for 5. And then Joe Gelhardt at 5s with Sky Bet, having a point on that. QPR Hull. Gelhardt, he sort of looks settled now at Leeds. Hull on loan from Leeds. He seems to be settled, as I said, scoring in 5 of his last 6. So he's got the only game he blanked was Derby of the last 6. He's averaged 0.57 goals per 90. QPR have conceded 23 goals already this campaign. So, again, in a game we're expecting goals, Hull's top goal scorer at fives, I think is far too big.
Yeah, that is a wonderful pick. And McBurney's not been playing. I don't know if that aids the selection or not, but he plays in the 10 anyway, Gelhardt, doesn't he? But yeah, that's it. Two great prices. Next for me, I've already talked about both games, so I can just rattle off these together. I'm taking the high lines, well, not the high line, but over 4.5 in Barnsley, Luton, and Swindon Grimsby. Barnsley game, it's short, and Bet Victor best price at 5.75. Swindon's drifted. It was 9 to 2. It's now 5 to 1. Half a point on each of those. And as I say, Swindon, Grimsby, 4 goals in each of the meetings last season. I think Grimsby have gone over 2.5 in 5 of 8 or 9 away games. They've had that 7-1 slacking of Cheltenham, a 3-3 draw against Harrogate. And I think there's another fixture where they ran this line really close. And Barnsley, as I said, like I remember the 6-2 last season at Birmingham. There's been 5-2 against Man United under 21s in the Cup. There was the 6-0 against Brighton. So many results where it's just batshit crazy for goals. Even I'm just thinking off the top of my head, they beat Burton 3-2, they beat York 3-2. Like, goals are fairly guaranteed when it comes to Barnsley. Famous last words. And as you touched on, Matthew, Luton 4-3, 3-0 against Stockport. And then like take the 0-0 with Rotherham with a pinch of salt, because Barnsley are not going to look for a point here. They're going to try and take the game to Luton. And of course, I'll be doing the double just in case there is at least 5 goals in each of the games. You could get that 32-1 with 365. I'm also having half a point on that just in case. Watch them both be 0-0 now.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Absolutely guaranteed. What else you got for us?
I've done 2 championship scorers. Now I'll do 2 more EFL scorers before moving on to the others. So a pod favourite is coming back to the show, but it's not one that I normally tip up. It's one of your favourite players in Fraser Horsfall.
Yeah, boy.
And he's always painfully short. He went through a phase where it was like 9-2 some week. So we just haven't touched him for ages. But 15 to score this weekend at Paddy Power. Late on.
You can get bigger elsewhere.
Yeah, no, but Coral Nabrooks, fuck that. Tim Pot bookies, mate. And I work for Paddy, so I've got to be in a sweet spot. But yeah, he's the towering centre back's now started the last 4 for Blackpool, so it seems a good time to jump on the bandwagon. He averaged 1 shot per game last year, accumulating 0.11 XG per 90. His numbers aren't the best in the Tangerine shirt. He's only had 1 shot since joining, but he faces an Orient side who have already conceded 9 goals from set pieces, the second most in the EFL. So yeah, Horsford 15 is Paddy Power. I'm having half a point, and I'm having a point on William Boyle at the same price with Paddy Power in Fleetwood Shrewsbury. Obviously, Orient are joint with a few teams on 9. Fleetwood are conceded joint most goals from set pieces in the EFL with 10. Last weekend, Ryan Tavasoli for Swindon scored. Warren Burrell of Harrogate scored from a set piece. So did Regan Ogle from Oldham. Boyle's sort of similar ilk to Horsfall, no nonsense, sort of slow centre back, but even better in the air than Horsfall. He's already scored 2 in 15 starts this season. He's averaging 1.49 shots per 90, which is mammoth for a centre-back. He also scored twice in just 3 appearances for Wrexham last season and 3 in 24 the season before. At Cheltenham, when he was there, Boyle scored 21 goals in 141 league starts, so as previous in the goal scoring department. As mentioned, Fleetwood are fragile from set pieces, so the big birdie centre-half will be looking to capitalise. And yeah, I think 15 for that is, considering his record and Fleetwood's fragility, is far too big.
Yeah, that is lovely. A lovely couple of big prices. And I've got it as a half a point on Horsfall, a point on Boyle. Is that correct?
Yes, and go on, whilst we're at it, I'll have quarter point on the double.
Right. Find that price while I just tell you about a couple of bets in Ipswich v Wrexham. So I messaged you yesterday, didn't I? Because I was like, do you know when you just find, well, not that I found them, but when I saw the prices of these players I'm going to tell you about, like, they are so big, I thought, what is going on?
Yeah, I can figure out if it was a palp either. It's hard. It's really hard to tell what they palp or what they don't.
Yeah, and that was I'll get onto the bets in a second, but that was genuinely my fear, because it's all right finding bets that you think you're going to win, but I don't want to ruin prices. Like, that's the complete opposite of what we're trying to do. I just want to share bets, win people money. And when I saw the prices of these players, like, they were that big, I was thinking, what is going on, but I think what has happened is Ipswich are around 4-7, 1-2-ish to beat Wrexham, and I think this has inflated all the prices of the Ipswich players. Because you look at the next best prices elsewhere, and it's only half a point shorter on these two players. So I've been umming and ahhing whether to share these bets or not. I'm going to share them, and I think it would be absolutely criminal, genuine crooked behaviour if 365 or any other firms bottle
They've
these prices.
prices for a couple of days now, so they can't now turn around and be like, "Oh, I know they can do anything."
They are criminal. They've
It's
done
not
it
like
to
you
us
took it on
before.
release. They sometimes fuck up on release. It's not like taking it on market release and
No,
then realise their mistake. They've given it a couple of days. You've obviously backed them. A few people would have backed them.
yeah, and the thing is, last night these two players, I'm going to get onto it in a minute. They both drifted, so they have 365 haven't got a leg to stand on. Like there is no way they can revise these prices, and if they do, I'll be absolutely disgusted and shocked. But these two players, I'm going to tell you about them in a second, but these two players are players I've been across, and they're always similar prices depending on the game in hand. So the only reason they fluctuate is if like they'll get longer, like in this case where they're at home and they're expected to win. Away from home, if you look at so if you can work out the sort of some algorithm, whatever, that the bookies use to calculate the prices, and the factor is cards per 90 averages. They have a different way of dissecting that information to me. That's why I think I've got an edge, foolishly think I've got an edge. And the other thing is the price which are to win. And it's sort of a culmination of those two things. And because they're so short this week, the natural reaction is to inflate these prices. But first player, Jack Taylor, we backed him at 11-2 in more competitive games, and when Ipswich are on the road. He was 9-1 when I lost my shit, when I saw his price. He's since drifted to 10-1. He's still available at 10-1. And at Ipswich, he's got a cards per 90 average of 0.39. He came from Peterborough, where he got 10 cards in his final season at Posh. He's been in and out of the side with Ipswich going up, having a pretty settled squad. So the numbers are sort of skewed by the lack of minutes. But this season, he's established himself as the best player to go in that midfield two for balance of the squad. He's not necessarily the best player on paper, but he's really made that position his own. And he's got 3 cards, I believe, in 6 starts. So at 10-1, it is a really, really good price. The other one is George Hurst. He's got 3 cards as well, I think. 2 in 4 of his last appearances. He was 17-2. He's now 9-1, so he's gone up half a point. And yeah, he's just a real rough and ready physical striker. And again, based on his career cards per 90, I was going to take 6-1 for tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, those two both massive prices. Naturally, I'll be doing the double. It's fluctuated from between 85 to 100-1. It's currently at 95-1. So I'm doing the double. And because these two players are so big, I've done combinations with Sheaf and O'Brien for the sake of clarity, and so I'm not just hurling a ridiculous amount of combinations of bets at you. I'm just doing, officially for the show, Hurst, Taylor, Sheaf, all to be carded. That's currently 300-1. Again, that's fluctuated between 275 and 350. And then I'm doing Hurst, Taylor, O'Brien, and Sheaf and O'Brien 2 card magnets for Wrexham. Sheaf booked in 3 of his last 3. O'Brien's got 4. He's their most carded player this season. The treble with O'Brien is 225-1 at the minute. And then I'm doing all 4 players. It was originally 650. It went up to 1,000-1. It's down to 550. But these prices are sort of moving more so than I've been aware of any other prices moving recently. And I know it only takes a slight O'Brien or Sheaf to come in a little bit to affect the fourfold drastically, but worth noting, because if you just check these prices up until kickoff, they might change again, so you might be able to get a bigger price. But I'm tracking them at the current price. But yeah, a lot of shit just being taught there. But here's the bet. So it's Taylor as a single. I've had 2 points on. I would never ever tip 2 points on and play a card unless it was a seriously good price, which it is. And a firm that I think would be capable of taking that amount of money, depending on what 2 points is for you. So I haven't took the decision lightly. I think it's genuinely a 2-point play. But, based on his cards per 90, it literally translates. His card per 90 of Ipswich literally translates to a price of like 6-4, 2-1. So it's a ludicrous price. Hurst, I've had a point. And then the double, I've had half a point. The trebles with O'Brien and Sheaf, I've had half a point as well. And all 4, I've had 0.2 of a point. But like for the sake of convenience, I'm not tipping all the various combinations of doubles, but if you wanted to do, like, you have to do them manually, but there's infinite amount of doubles you can do. For example, Taylor and Sheaf, so a midfielder each is 33-1. That's a massive price. All the other various combinations of doubles are around 28, between 28 and 33-1. All absolutely worth taking, but I'm just having the Hurst-Taylor singles, Hurst-Taylor double, and the trebles and the quadruple with Sheaf and O'Brien. But I'll put the sheet at the end of the YouTube show so you can see them more easily. Where are you going next, boy?
Yeah, so I'll do my two non-league picks, and then do you have any left?
I might have something for the Sheffield Derby.
Yeah, okay, I've got one for Sheffield Derby, so I'll do my two non-league, and we can talk about Sheffield Derby. So, Truro Sutton got goal scorer Lewis Simper to score at 6.5, having a point on that with Bet365, and then Lewis Simper to score a brace at 51s, having half a point. Scored 9 goals in his debut campaign for Sutton, which is his best goal return in his short career. This season, he looks determined to beat that. He scored 8 goals, including 7 in the league. Agata's been there for 8 league games. Simper scored in half of them, so 4, and he also scored in the cup against Farnham. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Agata when he's at Worthing. He's a very attack-minded manager, gets a lot of goals for his team, and Simper sort of been moved further forward. 6.5 for his record in general, big. But he's also on penalties, and he's playing against a side with just 2 clean sheets this season. He's also got previous for a brace, having scored a brace against Tamworth this season. So 6.5 for an attacking midfielder on penalties and an attacking-minded team against a shit team. And then the brace at 51 for half a point, which he's already hit this season.
Nice.
I spoke about it earlier, about how much I like Worthing goals, but Worthing to score over 3 goals at Slough is 5s. Under Hinchelwood, they've done it in 1, 2, 3. In their last 3, scored 3 at home to Hampton and Dover. They did it away at Dagenham under Agata as well, and away at Horsham. So they've done it 5 times this season already. Slough, as I mentioned, the worst defence in the league, have conceded at least 4 against Maidstone, Weston-super-Mare, Hornchurch and Torquay. So you've got the best attack versus the worst defence. If Worthing get an early goal, I think the floodgates open. So Worthing over 3 goals at 5s.
Lovely stuff. So you mentioned the Horsefall Boyle double a minute ago. I've just checked that. Best price, Coral Ladbrokes 272-1. But if you're looking for a sturdier firm, you can get 233-1 with BetVictor, Betfair, Paddy Power, Sky, all offering prices over 210. So we'll track it with the BetVictor price. But in case you can get on with Coral and Ladbrokes, it is considerably bigger. Right, to the Sheffield Derby. Tell us about your bet first, because I can't believe this price.
Yeah, so I saw it, and it's shortened a bit from last night where it was 7s, but I'm not in the business of taking props. I feel bad even putting it forward 2 days early, but no other chance really. I spoke to a couple Wednesday fans I'm mates with about it, and Scott, and they were in disbelief at the price. So it's Barry Bannon 2,000. To be fair, looking at his record, he's averages just 0.61 per 90. It's not a big fouler, which surprised me. I thought it'd be fucking right up there for fouls, but it's not. And when I was compiling my cards list over the weekend, nothing really stood out. I looked at Barry Bannon, he's shorter than 2-1 for a card, so I was like, oh, his fouls are going to be short. Then I saw his fouls, it was evens for 1, and then like 6 or 7 for 2. And we mentioned we hate head-to-head betting on this, but I think a game like this, there's so much narrative rivalry, it matters. So in the 2 games last year against Sheffield United, he made 3 fouls in one of the games and ended up injuring Arblaster, didn't he?
Yep.
Sheffield United fans hate Bannon, and Bannon hates Sheffield United. So he made 3 fouls against Sheffield United, 2 fouls in the reverse. And I wasn't aware of this. Scott sent me a voice note this morning, explained it. So apparently he injured Arblaster, but Arblaster's potentially back on the bench this weekend.
Yep.
So if Arblaster comes off the bench as well, it sort of adds to it. But I think Sheffield United players will be out for Bannon. It'll be a rowdy atmosphere at Hillsborough now the owners are gone. Like I said, Bannon's foul record is not the best, but I think that goes out the window against a team he hates. He's a little Gollum looking rat, and he's just gonna leave his mark on any Sheffield United player, I think. So if he doesn't get booked for his first foul, I can see him easily making 2. So I think, yeah, despite his record, 6 is a massive price in the Steel City Derby for 2 fouls.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful bets.
5 points on that, sorry.
How many? 7 points on that.
1.5.
Let me just check because I think I've got that in the record as one. Yes, I have 1.5 points on that. So sell out at Hillsborough. Just give a bit more colour. Bannon, I can't remember exactly. I think he did injure Arblaster, but I don't know if it was an innocuous challenge. But Bannon, I think when they came up from League One under Moore, he was pissed and in sort of a into a microphone in some sort of celebration. He called out Ryan Brewster. He said, "You are fucking honking, son." I'm sure everyone's seen the video. And then his missus, hey,
Sounded just like him then. I thought he was in the room with us. Fuck's sake, never mind. I'm good. I've just checked the price now. Battered in before I could even back it, so there's no point. That's just a wasted. It's now 3.75.
oh, that is it. That is such a shame.
I haven't even tipped it anywhere or said it anywhere.
It's just it is one. That's the issue with props, and it just such low liquidity. But I've deleted that from the record. But yeah, it might be the referee for this game's not bad. He's capable of giving cards. The only thing is with it being an early kickoff, and like sort of the tax that the firms have already took on card prices. I just don't know if it's worth. But it might, having what we just said, it might be worth taking Bannon for a card. He's
His odds
just.
his odds are shit.
Yep, so it's not. Right, waste of time. The only thing I've got to add on the Sheffield Steel City derby, if you strip it back, take all the emotion out, take all the context with Chansiri, Chris Wilder, boyhood blade, former player, pantomime villain to the Hillsborough faithful. This is just literally a battle between a side who can't defend set pieces and Sheffield United, who has got surprisingly good underlying data from set pieces. So Wednesday conceded 10, most in the division, 4-1 expected goals against from set pieces as well. So Sheffield United ranked second for XG from set pieces, 8.56 behind Coventry. That's like 2 clear expected goals ahead of the next best in the division. They've only scored twice, but since Wilder come in, like the set piece impetus has improved. He's probably going to play Ben Mee if he's fit. He was withdrawn at half-time against QPR, but he's had an international break to recover. Mark McGuinness and Jeff Tanganga, so I'm going to split the stakes across them. Watching Sheffield United as I do, Ben Mee is a real threat, but he's usually the one to make the darting run to the near post and look to make first contact. So his threat doesn't translate to shots and goals, but he has got an assist. I think that came against Covpot. He's 14-1 generally. McGuinness is the same price. This one is a little bit better in terms of goals output. He got 8 across the previous 4 campaigns in the Championship. He also had a successful loan spell at Wednesday, so this one's dripping with an extra bit of narrative. In Tanganga, he's averaging 0.9 shots per game this season, and he netted 4 goals across his previous 2 seasons, 23, 24, 25 at Millwall. And as is so often the case in any derby, especially the Steel City derby, margins are going to be so fine. So it wouldn't be surprised to see this game settled on set pieces. So Tanganga's 12s, the other 2 are 14s. I've just split, I've had half a point on each, just in case. Just in case. But that's everything, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, lovely stuff. Instead of recapping the bets, I'll just put the spreadsheet screenshots at this point in the video. I will do as well with the ACCA bet slip. That's 19.2. We ditched Chelsea in the end, but if you're feeling crazy, you could put them in as well, maybe back both. I will not be doing that though. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Matthew, thank you for your time.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Pleasure as always. Best of luck everyone with your picks this weekend. We'll probably be back next week. Catch you on the Flippity Flip.